Hey, it's Ryan from 2minutetennis.net, and in this video, I'm going to show you what you can learn from the Bautista Agut two-handed backhand to help improve your backhand. All right, first, let's talk about the split step in the ready position. You should be split stepping. It's that move right there where he does a little hop and then he lands on the front half of his foot and the balls of his feet. You should be making that move every single time your opponent hits. And specifically, you actually want to time it so you're in the air as your opponent hits, so you're landing just after they hit. That synchronizes your feet with your reaction time, and you're so much faster to react and chase down every shot. Another thing I want you to notice is his body position, how his head is in front of his feet. He is ready to move to his right, to his left. He's ready to move forward and run down a drop shot. Don't just stand straight up and down where your head is over your heels. Lean forward, be ready and athletic in your ready position, and you're going to move so much faster. The next thing, I want you to watch his hands. If we zoom in here, look how he's changing his grip. You can see that right there. You should be changing your grip on every single backhand. Bottom hand for a two-hander is going to be on a continental generally, and the top hand is going to be anywhere from an Eastern forehand to a semi-Western forehand. Experiment with what feels comfortable to you, but either one of those grips, or really anything in between the Eastern and semi-Western forehand grip for the top hand, is just fine. Now, he's facing forward toward his opponent in the ready position, but I want you to notice when he sees the ball come to his backhand, he turns his body sideways and simultaneously takes his racket back 180 degrees. So in the same amount of time, he takes his body and turns it 90 degrees, but turns his racket 180 degrees. I see so many players, amateur players, who are late with their takeback, where their body will be correct and facing 90 degrees side on from the opponent, but the racket stays in front. You can't do that. You have got to take the racket back 180 degrees when you see the ball coming to you. Bautista Agut does this. You look at Serena do this all the time. She gets her racket back early. Even Djokovic has an early racket take back. Don't delay this. This is the key to handling high-level opponents. Now, the next thing I want to show you is this concept of two-headed monster, or two heads are better than one. Your head, and by the way, you should be filming yourself so you know what you look like and you can compare what you're learning in this video to what you see in your own backhand. If we look at the height of his head and then we look at the height of his racket, they're equal. Your head and your racket head should be at a similar height. This is called the two-headed monster, or two heads are better than one. This allows you to use gravity-assisted racket speed, where the racket actually gets to drop with gravity to accelerate faster and to be able to hit with more speed. So make sure in your ready position that your racket head is up above your hands and that you take the racket back, keeping that position, keeping the racket head up on the way back. Now, here is again the high, low, high swing. He's going to be high, he's going to drop, he's going to swing down, but then he's going to follow through over his shoulders. So watch this, or over his opposite shoulder. He drops down, he swings through, and up over his shoulder. You don't want to be taking the racket, because it's inefficient. You don't want to be taking the racket straight down on the takeback generally. Now, would Venus Williams argue with me? Yes. Would Michael Chang argue with me? Absolutely. But they are not known for the best two-handed backhands ever. And those who use this positioning where the racket tip is pointing up, like Agassi or Novak Djokovic or even Bautista Agut. I love his classic old-style swings. They're so clean. This is the way you create efficient power and racket speed. So he drops the racket down. This is a pretty flat backhand. I mean, he is getting topspin because he is getting slightly below the ball. So right here, he is dropped below the level of contact, and he is swinging up to contact and through contact. So this is kind of a flat topspin. If you want to get more topspin, you want to drop down farther below the ball and come up. But he drops pretty level, just a little below. So he's obviously wanting to drive this ball with spin. This is not how you would dip a ball cross-court for a cross-court passing shot or hit a topspin lob, because you really wouldn't get enough topspin and rotation on that ball. But he's really driving through this ball. You can see his head is down. His head is down looking at this contact. Look how he's leaning in and his head is on his front foot with his back foot up on the toe. Just so clean, this two-handed backhand. And again, you should be filming yourself so you know what you look like and you can compare your technique to one of the most effective and cleanest two-handed backhands on tour. He swings up and out, very much like Djokovic, where he does not roll his left hand over the ball, but actually keeps the racket to the left of his hands. This is what's called the left side of the letter V. If you've seen any of my Novak Djokovic videos, you know what I'm talking about with the left side of the letter V. And then this follow through over the shoulder. Again, this is the high, low, high swing. Back foot is on the toe. His hips have faced forward, and you can see his hips turn into the shot, and his chin and his shoulder are touching. So many things to learn from this super clean and effective backhand. So make sure you split step as your opponent hits, change the grip properly, keep the tip of the racket up as you turn your body 90 degrees, but take the racket back 180, tip of the racket still pointing up. If you have a Wilson racket, you can make sure that you can see the W on your strings. Shout out to Wilson. You want to drop the racket down, gravity-assisted racket speed, dropping slightly below the ball, brushing up and out as your hips turn, keeping your head still and following through up high over the shoulder. It's really awesome, by the way, how we can see his hands above head level. And obviously he's completely on balance with that back foot on the toe, almost like a golfer. So if you start following these steps and copying Bautista Agut's backhand, there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2MinuteTennis.net. You got this.